Hello and welcome to the 2016 CRC World Championship. Round 6 is the jewel in the calendar, the Monaco Grand Prix. With it being set around the tight and twisty streets of the Principality, this circuit is one of the most difficult on the calendar, with its tight and twisty corners, with the barriers in close proximity for good measure, set to put the drivers to the test. Due to its narrowness, overtaking is hard around here. It's the race they all want to win. 28 cars took to the streets of Monaco due to the shock withdrawal of DMAD. In pole position, it was no surprise to see championship leader Will Esley. However, behind him it wasn't his teammate, but Kieran Hardy, who demonstrated Guindana's strong pace at street tracks to qualify in second. Alex Moores was disappointed to qualify in third, ahead of Hannah Duran in fourth, whilst Jack Bourne qualified in fifth, completing a good qualifying for Guindana. Matt Coons qualified in sixth ahead of the two Coonsies of Rosie O'Driscoll and Toby Jones, who were disappointed with seventh and eighth. Dan Miller qualified ninth, whilst a software glitch forced Chantal Hawk to abandon her final run, meaning she would only start in 10th. Lucy Woodward was disappointed not to make Q3, just ahead of Tom Mungle, who was pleased to qualify in 12th. Louise Morrow qualified in 13th, showing better pace for RTS, ahead of Abby Leggett in 14th, and Will Buchan in 15th. Phoebe O'Connor qualified in 16th, completing a good qualifying for RTS, ahead of Harvey Williams, who was pleased to get his Shantana into 17th on the grid. Luke Quintanilla, in his first outing for CGP Racing, was disappointed to only manage 21st, whilst disaster session for Matthew Toussaint meant he could only manage 24th. To the race start, and the front runners got away cleanly, whilst behind, Toby Jones got a jump on his teammate Rosie O'Driscoll, as they all made it through Sandoval cleanly. At Massenet, Jones passed Coons for 6th with an outside pass, whilst behind, contact between Dan Miller and Chantal Hawk dropped both just outside the points. Whilst Lucy Woodward spun after contact with Mungle, things were to get a lot messier later in the lap, as in the tunnel, Max Mugala shut the door on Chloe Carter and contact was made, sending both into the barriers and out on the spot. For the third race in succession, after just one lap, the safety car was needed. At the restart, on an attempt to pass teammate Elliot Everson at the Rascasse, Bex Howie clipped the wall and lost her front wing, forcing her into the pits. Phoebe O'Connor was the next driver to hit trouble as she clipped the wall on the inside of the Nouveau chicane and went into the wall, costing her front wing. At the front, the order remained fairly static. Will Esley was pulling away up front in typical fashion, whilst Alex Moores was demonstrating how difficult it was to overtake at Monaco, as despite being quicker than Kieran Hardy in front, he just simply could not make the pass stick. Towards the back end points, Damon and Chantal were stuck behind the fast starting Abby Leggett after their first lap collision. Things then got interesting when the leaders came to lap the speed check of Bex Howie, where Toby Jones was caught off guard, which allowed Matt Coons to find a way back through into 6th, and almost allowing his teammate Rosie O'Driscoll through as well, while she eventually conceded the place at back. Phoebe O'Connor's race was going a lot worse, as on an attempt to move over to let leader Will Esley through, she clipped the wall and lost her front wing. Embarrassingly, she would then make the same mistake at the same corner several laps later, again on an attempt to let the leader through. Dan Miller's race would then take a hit, as on an attempt to lap the 8th driver of James Lane, he hit the back of him, which cost him the front wing. Chantal Hawk, however, was on a charge, as she was able to pass first Abby Leggett at the Nouveau chicane, and then Tom Mungle at Massenet. Meanwhile, things were not going well for Louis Hyde, as he was tagged by David Bland going into the back, which forced him out of the race. With track position becoming increasingly important on a track which is notoriously difficult to overtake on, the majority of the drivers adopted to use the hard tyre for this race, meaning there was only one round of pit stops. In the pit stops, Toby Jones made huge gains, as he was able to leapfrog 4 cars to get up into second. The same could not be said for Kieran Hardy and Alex Moores, as they dropped to 5th and 7th respectively as a result of poor stops. Things were not going well for Elliot Everson, as his brakes gave way in spectacular style going into the Nouveau chicane, forcing him out of the race. Unknown to the race organisers and the drivers, the front wing of the Speedtech was right on the racing line, and when Alex Moores came round, he hit the stray piece of debris, which forced him into the barrier, and unbelievably, the Inata Roca driver was forced to retire for the second time in 3 races. After the pit stops, Esley was still leading, but he then had trouble lapping the Lockheed of Kerry-Ann Peace. This allowed Toby Jones and Hannah Duran to close. A scary moment then occurred when Toby Jones tapped the back of the championship leader at Saint-Devote, causing Esley to half spin. In order to avoid a penalty from the stewards, Jones didn't take the place. Chantal Hawk was the next driver to make a mistake, as she went wide at Casino Square as she tried to lap Bex Howie and hit the wall, which cost her of her front wing and dropped her to 11th. Hawk's teammate Hannah Duran was also forced to pit for repairs when Kerry-Ann Peterhead clipped the wall and lost her front wing. The errant wing got tucked under Duran's car, which forced her into the barrier. The pit stop dropped her to 6th. Chantal Hawk, however, wasted no time making up some of the lost positions by passing first Lucy Woodward and then Louise Morrow. As the race went on, the driver count continued to fall. Bex Howie clipped the wall on the entrance to the swimming pool and hit the wall, forcing her out of the race. James Lane's race would end when Lucy Woodward hit him going into the back, forcing the HWR driver into a spin. Lucas Quintanilha's race would end when he hit the wall at the Nouveau Chicane and hit the wall, forcing him out, and Matthew Tootham was having a difficult race in 20th before his race would end when Matt Coombs shut the door on him and contact was made, forcing him out of the race. Kieran Hardy was running in 5th after his bad pit stop, before his engine gave up the ghost. Despite showing a lot of promise, the 2011 champion was out of the race. Matt Coombs was having a difficult race in 6th before he lost his front wing out of the Rascas while lapping Will Buchan, which forced him to pit and dropped him behind Duran. Things were going a lot worse for his teammate Dan Miller, who was recovering after losing his front wing. He then completely missed his braking point at the chicane, spun on the anti-cuts, and then hit the wall on Pomney joining, which forced him out of the race and brought the safety car out for the second time. When the safety car came in, Matt Coombs tried to close the gap to Hannah Duran, but he would eventually run out of laps. Chantal Hawk was also trying to catch up to the pair of them, but she would also eventually run out of laps. At the front, and taking his 4th win from 6 races with another formidable performance, Woodesty proved he was the master of Monaco by winning the Monaco Grand Prix for the 3rd time in his career. Toby Jones looked like he might be able to catch the Ignace Roca at certain stages of the race, but he'd eventually have to settle for 2nd, and rounding out the podium, a delighted Jack Baldwin brought his car home in 3rd to take his and Quintana's first podium of the season. Rosie O'Driscoll did catch Baldwin, but was unable to pass him to take the final podium slot. Hannah Duran, Matt Coombs and Chantal Hawk were able to recover to 5th, 6th and 7th respectively, having lost their front wings. Louise Morrow and RTS were ecstatic to pick up their first points finish of the season with a strong drive to 8th. They had Lucy Woodward in 9th, whilst Tom Mungle picked up the final points in 10th, his first of the season. Abby Leggett felt she would have finished in the points had it not been for a box pit stop, just ahead of a disappointed Will Buchan in 12th. Shantana endured a good race, finishing 13th and 14th, just ahead of Phoebe O'Connor, who recovered to 15th despite 3 unscheduled pit stops. 17 cars saw the checker flag in a race full of attrition. In the driver's standings, Wesley has extended his lead to 55 points ahead of 2nd place Hannah Duran. Alex Morris continues to fall further behind in 3rd, ahead of the 2 contributors Rosie O'Driscoll and Toby Jones. Chantal Hawk remains in 6th, just ahead of Matt Coombs in 7th. Jack Baldwin's podium has moved him up into 8th, ahead of Dan Milner, whilst Lucy Woodward rounds up the top 10. Kieran Hardy, however, has lost a huge amount of ground as a result of his engine failure, as he has dropped to 11th. In the constructors' standings, Ignace Roca still leads with a gap of 83 points back to York in 2nd. Coombs Feline is 3 points behind in 3rd, ahead of Marsport in 4th. Further down the field, RTS have finally gotten off the mark, courtesy of Louise Morrow's 8th place, but they still know they have a lot of work to do. Following the Monaco Grand Prix, it emerged that there is still hope for what was the DMAT team to complete the season under a new name as a result of a possible dispensation under the circumstances from the KSR. The next race will be the Canadian Grand Prix, and you can watch that race live as it happens. Just simply head to this YouTube channel on the 5th of June and follow the links to the live broadcast. The times for the race, seating sessions and support race streams will be confirmed on the CRC site at crcracing1.wix.com/official and the CRC Twitter at twitter.com/crcracing1 on the Wednesday before the race. Also, don't forget you can rate this race and vote for your driver of the day via the link in the description. You can subscribe to this channel for more CRC streams and highlights videos, as well as visit the CRC site and Twitter for news and league information. We hope you enjoyed today's highlights, and we'll see you next time for round 7 for the 2016 CRC World Championship.